The Taken King. And he's coming for you, Guardian. Can you blame him? You killed his son with his own sword.
We are at E3. Highlight of E3, of course, if you know me, is Destiny. You showed very little at the PlayStation conference, but for people who play Destiny, there was a lot to take in. So can you explain, I guess for people who are not as like diehard as me, like what is it that you're showing off?
So what we're announcing this week is our first major expansion in Destiny, Destiny the Taken King. It comes out this fall, but what it is it's a big campaign about our villain, Oryx, the Taken King, the father of Crota. In the Dark Below DLC, players killed Crota with his own sword, and his dad is pissed. What his dad is doing, Oryx, is coming back with his giant dreadnought, which is our brand new destination, new place to go, and run amok. Like, he's coming back, and he's brought an army of Taken with him who are going to run amok all over the solar system. So you and your merry band of buddies are going to gear up and go bring the fight to Oryx and his dreadnought and run around that place and have a great time fighting a mix of Hive and Taken.
So I got to try a new story mission, but I'm assuming there's a new strike. What else is in there?
So in the Taken King, we have a big campaign. Like it's our big campaign. It's a big campaign offering. It's gonna have stuff like deeper story, cool cinematics, like a bunch of stuff that we haven't been doling out in our DLC packs. Additionally, you asked a question about strikes. We're not going to talk specifically about the numbers, but in our Vidoc that we released today, you see a bunch of big bosses and you see a bunch of stuff that looks like 3-player content, which says to me it seems like there's going to be some sweet new strikes for players.
And PvP Crucible stuff?
Absolutely. Down here on the show floor, we are sharing two things. One, over at the Sony booth, we have Mayhem. Mayhem is this awesome opportunity it's an awesome opportunity to check out the new builds, because the supers regenerate super fast, grenades regenerate super fast. If you want to get game time with the Sunbreaker and throw a bunch of hammers, you can check it out in the Sony booth at Mayhem. Downstairs in our booth, we have players playing Rift, which is our new objective-based PvP mode. People have long wanted that sort of objective-based PvP, and here we have something that's a bit like Neutral Bomb, where players fight over the spark, and the spark is this object that you carry, but you still get to use your gun, so it's not like carrying a flag. You're still like the powerful monster-killing machine that you are, and then you dunk it into this object called the Rift, and you can go in forwards and do like a sweet forward jam, and if you back into it, you flip and get bonus points for doing it. And so when you're on the defending team and the spark runners come, and you're like, this guy's going to try to shame us with a backwards dunk, we got to shut him down. And so, yeah, Rift is our first like objective-based game mode, and we're super excited about that. We have big, huge groups of players like waiting in line and then checking it out.
Cool. And one of the biggest things here is this new subclasses. Can you explain what we got there?
Yeah, the 3 new subclasses: the Stormcaller for the Arc Warlocks, the Sunbreaker for the Titans, and my current favorite in the clubhouse, the Night Stalker, which is our Void Hunter. With each of these supers, we've wanted to look at places where there were holes in the existing sort of classes, like the Sunbreaker Titan. The Striker is very close quarters. The Defender Titan has that, like, this is my house, I have to defend it. And this guy, like, fires flaming hammers like a catapult, like, activating from range. And the Hunter really is the one that, like, speaks the loudest in terms of differentiation. The Gunslinger and the Blade Dancer are more like single player, like lone wolf. Like, someone used the word greedy. I think that's a good word for it, like a greedy class. And then Night Stalker is the guy who, through his super, Shadow Shot, fires an arrow at an enemy. Maybe he kills the enemy, but no matter what, when the arrow hits, it explodes out into this tether that holds everything in place. And it like allows this guy, the Night Stalker, to sort of be like the point guard on the battlefield, like calling out targets, like leading the charge, and firing like arrows that become focus fire opportunities. Like, he really is our version of the Hunter support class, which is something that I've been personally really excited about. Sure. And so let me, I don't want to leave the Warlocks out of this. Like the Stormcaller, this class is all about fantasy fulfillment. I mean, I and a bunch of people on the team obviously love stuff like Star Wars, and the ability to, like, you know, make Emperor Palpatine jokes like "take your Jedi weapons," like, that is amazing. And this guy, lightning at the fingertips, going around giving these enemies the zapper is hilarious, and it's a really powerful class.
All right, and so for people who haven't played Destiny before, how is this? Do they need like the old game, or is this going to be a full pack where they can jump into this? Or how does that going to work?
So the way that this is working is we have a bunch of different SKUs. I'll talk through those really quickly. If you are a player who's content complete right now, when I say that, I mean you've got Destiny, you've got Dark Below, and you've got House of Wolves. You can get the digital upgrade to the Comet for the Taken King for $40. If you didn't get into Destiny last year, you missed it, the Taken King Legendary Edition comes with all previous Destiny content. The reason why we're doing this, and that's $60. The reason why we're doing that is because we want, like, our opportunity here this fall is to create a moment for a bunch of players to come together and play Destiny. Maybe you weren't excited about it last year. Maybe you played it to level 20 and you like washed out. By making sure that everyone has the same content, it creates a common starting line, and that lets players move ahead together, which the game's all about, playing games together.
All right, and finally, when is it coming out?
Yeah, the Taken King is going to be released on 9/15 of this year. So September 15th, it's going to be available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, and Xbox 360.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot, man.